Welcome to the 2025 NTPC Graduate CBT-1 video focusing on hard computer questions. This section covers advanced topics to prepare you for the exam. Question 1. Which file format is used for saving MS PowerPoint templates? The correct answer is A. .pax. Question 2. In most Unix-based operating systems, which command is used to create an empty file if the file does not already exist? The correct answer is C. Touch. Question 3. If a user attempts to delete a non-empty directory without recursive options, what is the most likely outcome? The operating system will return an error, D, indicating the directory is not empty. Question 4. Which command in Windows 10 CMD deletes all .log files without confirmation? The correct option is C. del**log/q. Question 5. If you need to change the font and color of multiple instances of a product name using a character style in MS Word, what is the most efficient method? C. Modifying the definition of the character style. Question 6. In modern CPUs, what technique is used to execute multiple instructions simultaneously? The correct answer is B. Pipelining. Question 7. Which scenario would most effectively necessitate a three-dimensional reference in MS Excel? C. Summing values from a specific cell across identically structured worksheets representing monthly data for a year. Question 8. Which keyboard shortcut opens the Windows 11 OS settings menu? The correct answer is D. Windows key plus S. Question 9. Which version of Windows introduced the Start menu? The answer is B. Windows 95. Question 10. Which of the following is an example of a mixed cell reference in MS Excel? The correct answer is C. 1 Australian dollar. Question 11. Which option accurately describes the function of the spill range feature in newer versions of MS Excel? C. It dynamically resizes a formula's output range when the formula returns multiple values. Question 12. Which statement does not describe the primary difference between SRAM and DRAM? The correct option is D. SRAM is typically ideal for cache memory, and DRAM is commonly used for main system memory. Question 13. In the memory hierarchy, what happens to access speed and cost per bit as you move from registers towards secondary storage? The correct answer is A. Access speed decreases and cost per bit decreases. Question 14. In Linux OS, which command is used to rename a file? The answer is D. mv oldname.txt newName.txt. Question 15. When saving an MS PowerPoint presentation, the primary purpose of Save as Picture Presentation is D. To embed a static image of the first slide as a preview. Question 16. In Windows, which Alt key combination displays the contextual control menu of the active window? The answer is C. Alt plus space. Question 17. Which option is best to ensure an MS PowerPoint presentation opens in slideshow view by default for recipients without PowerPoint? C. PowerPoint Show, PPSX. Question 18. Which number represents the ASCII value of the uppercase letter B? The correct answer is C. 66. Question 19. Which OS concept ensures multiple processes can access files concurrently without data corruption? A. File locking mechanisms. Question 20. How many unique characters can the standard ASCII code represent? The answer is A. 128. Question 21. Which setting offers the least control over the precise placement and size of a watermark in MS Word? D. Utilizing a predefined watermark template from the gallery. Question 22. Which scheduling algorithm is most prone to the convoy effect? The answer is B. First come, first served. FCFS. Question 23. Which operating system is most suitable for ethical hacking due to its pre-installed tools? The correct option is A. Kali Linux. Question 24. What is the immediate effect of pressing the Tab key in a command line interface? C. It attempts to autocomplete the currently typed command or file name. Question 25. Which MS Excel element displays the name of the currently active cell or selected range? The answer is C. The name box. Question 26. In PowerPoint, how do you create a sub-bullet point after pressing Enter on a list item? C. Clicking the Increase List Level button in the paragraph group. Question 27. Which MS PowerPoint view should you use so your audience does not see your notes during a slideshow? C. Presenter view. Question 28. Which method cannot be used to create a new slide in MS PowerPoint 365? D. Pressing Ctrl plus N, which creates a new presentation. Question 29. Which scenario most likely results in a hashtograph error in an MS Excel formula? C. Deleting a row or column that contains cells referenced by a formula. Question 30. Which input device is least likely to be the primary means of navigation and interaction in a VR environment? The correct answer is D. Optical mouse connected to the computer. Question 31. Which of the following memory types is also called solid-state storage? The answer is D. Flash memory. Question 32. In MS Word 2019, how do you quickly select an entire paragraph? The correct action is C. Triple-click on any word within the paragraph. Question 33. What is the significance of the root directory in a hierarchical file system? D. It is the topmost directory in the file system hierarchy, from which all other directories branch. Question 34. What is the primary advantage of a directory acyclic graph structure for file systems? A. DAGs enable hard links, allowing a single file to have multiple directory entries. Question 35. Which cell reference in MS Excel modifies both the column letter and row number automatically when a formula is copied? The answer is D. Relative reference. Question 36. What best encapsulates the concept of a, quote, stored program computer from the von Neumann architecture? D. A computer where both data and instructions are stored in the same primary memory for sequential execution. Question 37. What does the PowerShell command remove item C logs, recurse, force do in Windows OS? D. Delete all files and subfolders inside C logs, including the folder itself. Question 38. What are the wavelength and type of the laser used in a standard CD-ROM drive? The correct answer is B. 780 nanometers. Infrared laser. Question 39. What is the fundamental difference between the von Neumann and Harvard architectures? B. Harvard allows simultaneous fetching of instructions and data, while von Neumann typically fetches them sequentially from the same memory space. Question 40. CMOS stands for what? C. Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Question 41. What is the primary function of ROM in computer hardware? B. It holds essential firmware required for booting the system. Question 42. In Windows 11, which command interpreter manages computer drives? The answer is D. Disk part. Question 43. Which element is not inherently part of a basic blank presentation upon its initial creation in MS PowerPoint? A. Predefined theme colors. Question 44. In Windows 11, why might you receive an access is denied error when renaming a file? D. The file ownership has changed. Question 45 asks, which of the following statements accurately describes the behavior of continuing numbering from a previous list when inserting a new numbered list within the same document in MS Word? The correct answer is B. MS Word provides an option upon creating the new list to continue from previous list, which needs to be explicitly selected. Question 46. In MS PowerPoint Slide Master View, what is the primary benefit of customizing the top-level master slide versus individual layout masters? The answer is B. Customizing the top-level master ensures consistency of universal elements across all slide layouts. Question 47. In modern motherboards, which component is directly connected to the CPU to facilitate high-speed communication? The correct option is A. Northbridge. Question 48 asks, which of the following conditions will prevent a file from being renamed in a Windows-based operating system? The answer is A. The file is currently opened in another application. Question 49. Which of the following best encapsulates the role of an operating system's kernel? The core role is B, acting as the core interface between applications and the system hardware. Question 50. In MS Word 365, what is the shortcut to remove manual character formatting from selected text? The correct shortcut is D, Control plus spacebar. Question 51 asks, which of the following keyboard shortcuts is used to insert a new slide in PowerPoint 2019? The answer is B, Control plus M. Question 52. What is the keyboard shortcut to remove paragraph indentation in MS Word 365? Option C is correct, Control plus Shift plus M. Question 53. What is the function of Alt plus F2 in the Linux GNOME desktop environment? The function is D, opens the Run command dialog box. Question 54. Which of the following input devices primarily translates physical, real-world movements into digital signals? The correct device is C, mouse. Question 55. In Microsoft PowerPoint, which view is best suited for reorganizing slides and getting an overview of the entire presentation structure? The best view is A, slide sorter view. Question 56. What is the difference between dragging text with the mouse and Control plus dragging text in MS Word 365? The correct difference is B. Dragging moves the text. Control plus dragging copies it. Question 57. Which keyboard shortcut opens File Explorer in Windows 11 OS to navigate and create files/folders? The shortcut is B. Windows key plus E. Question 58 asks, which element, when poorly implemented, is most likely to undermine the credibility of an MS PowerPoint video? The answer is B. Inconsistent use of slide masters and templates. Question 59. Which MS PowerPoint feature allows you to record the timing for each slide and any narration or laser pointer movements to be replayed automatically during a slideshow? The feature is C. Record slideshow. Question 60 asks about the primary purpose of a MAC address in the context of local area networks. The correct option is B. To uniquely identify a network interface controller at the data link layer. Question 61. Which keyboard shortcut is used in MS PowerPoint 365 to start editing text inside a selected shape or text box? The answer is D, F2. Question 62 concerns the primary advantage of using section breaks over page breaks in MS Word. The advantage is B. Section breaks allow for different page numbering schemes, headers, and footers within the same document. Question 63. In a graphical operating system, what is the typical behavior initiated by pressing Control plus Tab? The correct behavior is A. It cycles through the open windows or tabs of the currently active application. Question 64. What is the primary advantage of using a virtual file system layer within an operating system? The answer is D. To provide a consistent interface for applications to access different file systems. Question 65 asks for the primary purpose of virtual memory in a computer system. The purpose is D. To extend RAM capacity by using disk space. Question 66. Which option in PowerPoint allows you to see all the slides at once as thumbnails? The correct option is B. Slide sorter view. Question 67. Which of the following methods is the quickest way to open an existing MS PowerPoint video? The quickest method is B. Double-click the .pptx file in File Explorer. Question 68. In MS Word, which feature allows users to set the margins of a document? The feature is B. Margins. Question 69 asks which scenario would most likely result in a, quote, page fault error. The answer is C. Attempting to access a memory address that has been swapped out to the hard drive. Question 70. Which scenario necessitates the use of a Keep with Next paragraph formatting option in MS Word? The correct scenario is C. Ensuring that a heading and the paragraph immediately following it always appear on the same page. Question 71. Which of the following best describes the gutter margin in MS Word 2019? The best description is C. Extra space added for document binding. Question 72. What does setting a page break in MS Excel 365 allow you to control? It allows control over C, where the worksheet splits across printed pages. Question 73. In MS Word 365, which feature allows users to customize the appearance of bulleted lists? The feature is C. Bullet Library. Question 74 asks for the main advantage of saving an MS PowerPoint video as a .pdf file. The advantage is B. It reduces file size and prevents unwanted editing. Question 75. In the context of file systems, what is the primary purpose of file system metadata? The purpose is D. To record information about the files and directories, such as their names, sizes, timestamps, and permissions. Question 76. What happens when you press Ctrl plus M in MS PowerPoint 365? The correct action is A. A new slide is inserted with the same layout as the previous slide. Question 77 asks, which operating system provides the highest level of user control over system resources for professional software development? The answer is D. Linux, such as Ubuntu or Fedora. Question 78. Which is the correct way to add a new slide in an MS PowerPoint 2019 video? The correct way is C. Go to the Home tab and click New Slide. Question 79. What is the significance of pipelining in CPU architecture? The significance is D. It executes multiple instructions simultaneously by overlapping stages. Question 80. What happens if you delete a file from a USB flash drive in Windows OS? The file is permanently deleted immediately, which is option B. Question 81 asks for the quickest way to open an existing MS Excel spreadsheet. The quickest method is B. Double-click the .xlsx file in File Explorer. Question 82. What happens if you paste text into MS PowerPoint 2019 with the Keep Source Formatting option? The text retains its original formatting from the source, which is option B. Question 83. What happens if you try to open an MS PowerPoint video created in a newer version in an older version? The file will open in compatibility mode with limited features, option D. Question 84. In Windows 10 File Explorer, how can you group files by their type? The method is B. Use the Group By option and select Type. Question 85 asks for the abbreviation representing a volatile memory technology used for primary working memory. The answer is A. DRAM. Question 86. What is the fundamental difference between a cold boot and a warm boot? B is correct. A cold boot restarts from a powered-off state, while a warm boot restarts from a running state. Question 87 asks, which statement is correct? The correct statement is D. ASCII represents characters as numerical codes. Question 88. Which MS Word feature allows users to set specific spacing before and after paragraphs? The feature is D. Paragraph spacing. Question 89 asks for the easiest way to sort files by name in File Explorer in Windows 11 OS. The answer is D. Right-click, select Group By, and then Name. Let's begin with question 90. Which feature allows you to create a multi-level numbered list, such as 1.1, 1.2, in MS Word 2019? The correct answer is A. Define new multi-level list. Question 91 asks, which statement best explains why removing all desktop icons does not impact the functionality of the applications in Windows OS? The correct choice is C. Desktop icons are only visual shortcuts and not the actual application files. Moving to question 92. Which of the following characters is not allowed in a file name when renaming in Windows? The answer is C. Question mark. Question 93. When using Paste Special in MS Word to insert content from a spreadsheet, which option preserves the original formula calculations while displaying the values? The correct option is CMS Excel Worksheet Object. For question 94, which one is not the method to search for and replace text in Microsoft Word? The incorrect method is B. Click on Alt plus Enter key. Question 95. What does PCB stand for in electric circuits? The answer is A. Printed Circuit Board. Question 96 asks, when using the Replace function in MS PowerPoint, which option allows users to replace only whole words and not parts of words? The answer is C. Find whole words only. Question 97. What happens when you apply a template to an existing MS PowerPoint presentation? The answer is B. It applies a new design while keeping the existing slide content. For question 98, which of the following statements is true regarding ASCII, LAN, and CD in computer terminology? The correct statement is D. ASCII represents characters using numeric codes in binary. Question 99 asks, what happens if users try to open an MS Excel file created in a newer version in an older version? The answer is C. The file will open in compatibility mode with limited functionality. Question 100. In MS Excel, which feature ensures that only a specified portion of the spreadsheet is printed? The correct answer is B. Print area. Question 101. Which of the following best describes the underlying data structure that forms the basis of an electronic spreadsheet like MS Excel? The answer is C. A two-dimensional grid composed of rows and columns intersecting to form cells. For question 102, which of the following is an example of an open-source desktop operating system? The correct choice is B. Linux Ubuntu. Question 103 asks, in Windows XP, which component provides a graphical interface for users to open and access software programs and applications? The answer is C. Start menu. Finally, question 104. What is the primary function of Alt plus Tab in most modern operating systems? The answer is A. Switches between open applications. Question 105 asks, which characteristic of the CPU determines how many instructions it can process per second? The correct answer is B. Clock speed. Question 106 is the same question. The characteristic of the CPU that determines how many instructions it can process per second is D. Clock speed. Question 107. Which of the following statements about printed circuit boards, or PCBs, is incorrect? The incorrect statement is A. PCBs serve only desktop computers and not portable devices. Question 108. Which statement best describes the role of RAM and ROM in a computer system? The best description is VROM is used to store system firmware, while RAM stores temporary data for active processes. Question 109. What is the primary purpose of the PPSX file format in MS PowerPoint 365? The primary purpose is B. To save the video in a format that opens directly in slideshow mode. For question 110, on the MS PowerPoint 2019 home screen, which option should you click to start a new blank video? The correct choice is D. The tile labeled Blank Presentation on the right panel. Question 111 asks, what is the primary purpose of the American Standard Code for Information Interchange, ASCII? The answer is D. To define a standardized set of codes for representing text and control characters. Question 112. Which keyboard shortcut permanently deletes a file without sending it to the recycle bin in Windows OS? Use D Shift plus Delete. Question 113. When initiating a new video in MS PowerPoint, what is the primary function of the Design Ideas feature? It is C. To suggest various pre-designed templates and layouts based on the content on the current slide. Question 114. Which element on the Windows 11 desktop allows users to quickly access multiple open windows and virtual desktops? The element is D. Task View. For question 115. Which Windows OS tool is used to change the system date and time? The correct tool is C. Control Panel. Question 116 asks, which of the following is an incorrect statement about cache memory? The incorrect statement is A. Cache memory is a form of secondary storage. Question 117. Which best describes the function of a section break next page in MS Word? It is B. It ends the current section and starts a new section on the subsequent page. Question 118. What is the default file format for saving workbooks in newer versions of MS Excel? The default file format is C.XLSX. Finally, question 119. Which feature in Windows allows you to create shortcuts to frequently used folders for easier access? The feature is D. Quick Access. Let's start with question 120. Which statement about primary and secondary memory is correct? The right answer is C. Primary memory is faster but has lower storage capacity, while secondary memory is slower but provides large storage capacity. Question 121. What is the purpose of the autofill feature in MS Excel 365? The purpose is C. To copy cell content or continue a pattern. Moving to question 122. When reusing slides from another video in MS PowerPoint 365, which option retains the original formatting? The correct option is D. Click Keep Source Formatting in the Reuse Slides pane. Question 123. When wrapping text around an image in MS Word, which layout option provides the most flexibility in positioning? The best option is C. Behind text or in front of text. Question 124 asks, how can we change the margins of a document in MS Word? You change the margins via B. Layout tab to Margins. Question 125. Which feature in MS PowerPoint 2019 allows you to reuse slides from another video without copying content manually? This feature is C. Reuse Slides, found under the Home tab. Question 126. What is the primary purpose of the Sections feature in MS PowerPoint for a large video? Its purpose is D. To divide the video into logical groupings for better organization and navigation. Question 127. When navigating through a dialog box or menu using the keyboard, what is the primary function of the Tab key? The function is C. To move the focus to the next available option or control. Question 128. What happens when you press F5 in MS PowerPoint 2019? Pressing F5B starts the slideshow from the beginning. Question 129 asks, what is the primary purpose of defining a named range in MS Excel? The purpose is B. To refer to a cell or range of cells using a more descriptive name in formulas. Question 130. Which key combination is primarily used to access the File menu in most standard Windows applications? The combination is B, Alt plus F. Question 131. In MS Word, which sequence of actions moves a block of text? The correct sequence is C. Cut the text, then paste the text at the desired location. Question 132. In many Windows applications, pressing Alt plus spacebar typically invokes which of the following? It invokes C, the system menu for the current window. Question 133. In Windows 11 OS, which of the following is not allowed in a file or folder name? The disallowed characters are B, symbols like asterisk, asterisk, or question mark. Finally, question 134. What is the purpose of pressing Alt plus Tab on the keyboard? Pressing Alt plus Tab A switches between open applications. Question 135 asks, which output device is specifically designed to produce high-quality printed graphics and text? The correct answer is B, inkjet printer. For question 136, we ask what happens when you press Enter while working with a bullet or numbered list in MS Word 365. The answer is C. It creates a new list item with the same bullet or number. Question 137. In an MS Excel spreadsheet, what does the cell address B5 represent? The correct choice is D, column B, and row 5. In the context of file deletion in a GUI-based operating system, what is the typical immediate effect of moving a file to the trash or recycle bin? The answer is D. The file is moved to a special directory, and its directory entry is updated, but the data remains on the storage device. Question 139 asks, which shortcut key combination is used to insert a hyperlink in MS PowerPoint 365? The correct answer is D, Control plus K. In MS PowerPoint 2019, which tab must you first select to access the Open option for loading a saved PowerPoint file? A, File tab is the correct answer. Question 141. In applications with multiple tabs, what does Control plus Tab do? The answer is C, switches to the next tab. Which of the following is the correct way to start a new blank presentation in MS PowerPoint? The correct method is A, press Control plus N. Question 143 asks, what happens if a user tries to rename a file to the same name as an existing file in the same folder? The correct answer is C. Windows displays an error. A file with this name already exists. How do you add text to a slide in MS PowerPoint? The correct way is B. Click inside a text placeholder and start typing. Question 145. Which sequence of steps correctly initiates a blank presentation in MS PowerPoint 2016 or later? The answer is A. File, then New, then Blank Presentation. What is the proper way to print a spreadsheet in MS Excel? The correct answer is C. Click on the File tab and choose Print. Question 147 asks about the primary purpose of the formula bar in MS Excel. It is C. To display and edit the contents of a cell. Which of the following shortcut keys can be used to quickly open a presentation in PowerPoint? The answer is D. Control plus O. Finally, question 149. What is the purpose of the Find and Replace feature, Control plus H, in MS Word 2019? B. To search for specific text and replace it with other text. Question 150 asks about the primary advantage of a multi-core processor when executing multiple independent tasks simultaneously. The correct choice is C. Improved ability to handle and execute multiple separate processes concurrently. Thank you for watching this video. These were the questions asked in the 2025 NTPC examination. All the best.